cannot do math, guys. Thanks, Brown University. There you are. Literary arts and ethics studies, my ass. Okay, cool. I'm really stoked to be here. This anthology is like pure magic, and I've already taught half a curriculum from it. Just like flipped through, and I was like, oh, which of these 1,000 amazing poems should I use to teach young people about how to survive and be human in the world? Anyway, but okay, so here's a poem. Anyway, I was thinking about desire a lot, and so I wrote a poem called Thirst. So this is the poem. But I can't stand not to be swallowed whole, to be sunken into, wrapped in wet walls, and then broken down, and then dissolved into someone else's cells. To be craved so hard, I become marrow, stomach lining, and tooth. To be devoured, though not by a man who expects a meal of me, not by a man who plucks thighs from street corners, who hungers for poultry to cure his own smallness. Those men I want keeled over and panting on the back steps, clawing at the screen. Those men I wish desert, salt water, flat tire in the canyon, wandering the empty shelves after we fruit have escaped to feast on each other's pulp, mouths wild and dripping, hands sticky till we're slick pits, stripped and sated and ready to return to the soil, ready to grow our new bodies. Yeah, the GREs are stupid. They also it was going through the TSA screening to go in there. They made me pull out all of my pockets, and I couldn't bring a cough drop inside. I'm no. It was so dumb as shit. Okay. Speaking of dumb as shit, so there was this white man who it's fine. Not all white men. There was once a white man, and his name was Michael Derrick Hudson, Stevenson Charles Preston, I don't know. And he had mediocre poems, and so he couldn't get them published because they were mediocre. And so then he was sad that he couldn't have everything, and so he started publishing this poem under a Chinese pseudonym. That is the appropriate reaction, yes. And then he got his poem accepted, and then the poem later got accepted into the Best American Poetry Anthology for 2015, and it was a shitstorm on Facebook for a few days, for poets, anyway. But although it reached non-poets, my partner's dad emailed me and was like, do you know about that? I was like, yeah. Thanks, Bernie. Yeah. So then I got stuck in a quicksand hole of sad and confused, as often happens when white supremacy rears its ugly head. And so then I ended up writing this poem, which is called. It's sort of my response to it, but it's really just an affirmation of life in the margins, I think, right? So it's called Che Jungmin, which is my Korean name. It's from my parents, Che In-young and Nam Song-eun, all real names, not pseudonyms. So apparently we have to qualify that. In the first grade, I asked my mother permission to go by Francis at school. At 7 years old, I already knew the exhaustion of hearing my name butchered by hammerhead tongues. Already knew to let my salty gook name drag behind me in the sand, safely out of sight. In 4th grade, I wanted to be a writer and worried about how to escape my surname. Choi is nothing if not Korean, if not garlic breath, if not seaweed and sesame and food stamps during the lean years. Could I just go by FJC? Could I be paper thin and raceless, dust jacket and coffee stain, boneless rumor smoldering behind the curtain and speaking through an ink-stained puppet. My father ran through all his possible rechristenings, Ian, Isaac, Ivan, and we laughed at each one, knowing his accent would always give him away. You can hear the pride in my mother's voice when she answers the phone. Hello, this is Grace, and it is some kind of strange grace she spun herself, some lightning made of chainmail. Grace is not her pseudonym, though everyone in my family is a poet. These are the shields for the names we speak in the dark to remember our darkness. Savage death rites we still practice in the new world. Myths we whisper to keep each other warm. My Korean name is the star my mother cooks into the jjigae to follow home when I am lost, which is always in this gray country, this violent foster home whose streets are paved with shame, this factory yard riddled with bullies, ready to steal your skin and sell it back to your mother for profit, land where they stuff our throats with soil and accuse us of gluttony when we learn to swallow it. I confess, I am greedy. I think I deserve to be seen for what I am, a boundless, burning wick, a stone house. I confess, if someone has looked at my crooked spine and called it Elmwood, I've accepted. If someone has loved me more for my gook name or for my saint name, for my good vocabulary and bad joints, I've welcomed them into this house. I've cooked them each a meal with a star singing at the bottom of the bowl, a secret ingredient to follow home when we are lost. Sunflower oil, blood sausage, a name given by your dead grandfather who eventually forgot everything he'd touched. I promise I'll never stop stealing back what's mine. I promise I won't forget again. I posted, that poem lived on the internet for a little bit, this person started to try. I feel like every time when I speak about whiteness, it's like the spell that conjures the trolls on Twitter. And there was this one man who started arguing with me a bunch of bullshit, but he started being like blood sausage is European. So you're appropriating a European culture. And I was like, well, okay, here, let me respond to that. And I was like, why am I arguing about sausages on Twitter? That's why I'm saying so many things. Okay, so here's I did shrooms this summer for the first time. And I went to the beach, which I highly recommend. In any state, really, just there's a lot of beaches here, and I was really excited about it. And then the day before I went to the beach, I got my period. Before I was going to do the shrooms, and I was like, oh no, this is going to be weird. And it was great. So here's the poem. It's called Sea Queen, because that's what I thought it was. We found the beach hungry, buzzing, rock-toothed, ocean dreaming regal in amethyst, light filtered, skittering over the surface like a thought, a sound, there, then gone, but probably still making a wave somewhere. I ran my hand over the rounded stones, eggs frozen in heather and slate. We sat in the tide, great boulder beasts robed in seaweed, our furry steeds. My imagination was doing some great things. I buried my thighs in succulent grasses and let myself grow and grow while thick brine roiled, tangled, burst open on the rocks and I dug in deep. Let my spine do a spine's work. Watch the turgid forest bow, celebrate, bow under my crooked thumbs. Watch the thin howl of blood leave my wet and ribbon back into the sea like it was headed home. Queen of the tide pool, lord of the salty kingdom between my legs, moon rider whose mood can leave beasts beached and bloated, or pull whole ecosystems into my mouth. Dune Sprite, kissing boulders with bare feet, laying wet eggs everywhere I go, each a red-brown blessing, each a still-beating curse, a drain and dawning and flushed light, queen at last of this wax and wail. Hail, bleeding regent, hail, bright stone in the sky, calling water to its side and watching it come. If you're wondering, that last line is a play on the word come. All my poems are just jokes. Okay. So I have two poems that are in this beautiful anthology, which I encourage you to get a copy of if you haven't gotten them already. It's really just a great resource to have as you try to navigate this world and being a human in the context of capitalism. But anyway, so one of the I think I'll finish with the last with one of the poems in the book. But the other poem I wrote it so long ago, and so I wanted to kind of write a poem that was sort of in the same style, but kind of updated. I guess I don't know if it's updated, but it's about a vibrator, my vibrator to be specific. And it's called Good Vibrations, but all the I's are ones and the O's are zeros. And there's a dollar sign. Just for fun. Okay, about my vibrator. Good vibrations. Magic bullet, buzz kill, coin op lovers needly plead, steel vibrato, dry spell caster, clitoral cheat code when flesh fingers tire of my failed tulips mess and mess, tiny steel tycoon, metal mouse heart, incoming call, please hold, swarm song in the sheets, under sticky sweat and pulse, pulp, dependable cord, steady pharynx, X redacting human error, slow piston, press, little fury in motion, frantic focus, close my eyes, thigh, tense, present, think, jaw crack, think, it's my own lightning, driving the engine, it's a closed circuit, buzzing finger on budding sex, worker bee, building a cyborg hive mind, an overstimulus cycle, fembot feedback loop, telling this flesh machine its own origin story again and again and again and again and again. Cool. So I'm going to end with a poem that is actually in the anthology. Thanks for coming and listening to poems and humans tonight. That's really cool. Okay, this poem is called. I think I wrote it while I was at Brown. During the last few months I was here and just trying to survive and leave. But have a great time. I hope you're having a great time. Okay, this poem is called Pussy Monster, and it's from the lyrics of a Lil Wayne song called Pussy Monster, with the words rearranged in order of frequency. So the number of times that each word appears in the song is the order that they appear in this poem. Okay, Pussy Monster. Thanks for listening. For flu food, bowl stood, no more soup. Remove spoon, drink juice, salt, pepper, heard, well, cool, job blow, bet, mic check, how, don't have clue, but find, show, tell, lift top lip, smell, swallow, spit every time goes, get, call Dracula, vacuum, catfish, fish, cat, tuna, smack, flip, specula, low running, so tackle baby, be worm, apple butt, go back in front, throw black Acura, been this game actress, told action cameras looking hope, yeah, where, no rain, hurricane, imagine, did pearl talk, taste, what, cold, suck, hot, blue, there, one, two, still, put, face, reason, why, coming, tongue, she, eat, feed, walk, make, wanna, do, just, alive, now, like, girl, monster, me, you, pussy,